guy. But Freya, you have been, well, you've been heading the marketing, the social media. You've been with the team all through this season, and nothing quite builds to a varsity, does it?
No, this is our second varsity of the year, and my God, it's always an amazing atmosphere. The boys work so hard for every single fixture, but these spotlight fixtures are so important for the boys' exposure to also just the general public of Exeter University. It's such a good night out, and everyone can have fun with their friends. It's great.
Yeah, good night out to be had. I can tell from experience sitting in the stands many moons ago. But Charlie, you've got experience out there playing. I know you're absolutely gutted to not be on the pitch, but what is it like as a player, the build-up and actually taking to the field for this occasion?
Yeah, no, I've been lucky enough to play a few in my 3 years, and yeah, there's nothing really quite like it. Like playing with the green and white is huge anyway, but with all your mates here, the whole university here, it's massive. Really excited for this.
And Charlie, we've got a lot of fresh faces in the squad for this upcoming season. And how important has it been for you to build with that team dynamic on and off the pitch?
Yeah, I think it's been huge. We've had a lot of freshers come into the fold, and part of that owing to the relationship with the Chiefs. And yeah, it's been great. And for someone like me, I've been here for a few years, and to start playing with these younger lads is actually class. And seeing Ben Cohen starting at 10 today, just an 18-year-old. But I mean, seriously talented lad. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to play as well too.
Yes, an 18-year-old fresher in at fly half. I think just his second start in the green and white. Who's some of the other players that the people at home should be looking out for?
Well, couldn't go much further than Bench Joseph on the wing today. I think, unless I'm much mistaken, he's level with the all-time Exeter leading try scorer Arthur Relton. He was here a couple of years ago. Dynamism in the pack, Jack Forsyth, 6. He's lethal around the ball, so we'll see a lot of him. And then I think could not mention Lucas Drupp going back from injury on the bench. I see him come on probably 20 minutes ago.
Alright, okay, so that's Exeter covered off, but Cardiff, okay? They came here last year, they sport the varsity party, they got a late try from Luke Holland and went away with, well, not for them and for anyone really, when you play against Exeter away, a famous victory. You played them at Cardiff already this season. What's the sort of noise that they bring on the field?
I think with any Welsh side in this league, you know they're going to bring an edge of physicality, and anyone coming to play the Exeter side always comes with their best game, because they want to beat us really. We're the scouts that are taken, so we can expect that edge of physicality. We can also expect them to come here with nothing to lose. That will always be the most dangerous thing. So I think it's cliche, but for the boys it's about playing the game, playing our structures, our shapes, and not going to rise to the occasion.
The best part about tonight is that we've also got some Cardiff fans coming to support, which is great for the atmosphere, as you can probably hear. But no, it's great. And having that crowd in full force, I mean, you'll know better than me, but I'm sure that's a great driver.
Yeah, it's always massive. For an Exeter player playing varsity, I mean, there's literally no better crowd. It's always these varsity occasions and the finals when Exeter shows up in full space.
Well, if you haven't quite deciphered, the Cardiff Uni team has just turned up and they've got a bit of a reception heading in the tunnel and on their way to the changing rooms. We're going to have to wrap it up here because Charlie's got to get in the mixer and empty his lungs this evening. But Freya caught up with Gareth Elliott, who is the head honcho of Exeter Rugby, and meanwhile we're going to head off to our commentary positions. Good.
Gareth, you were appointed as the head coach for Exeter for this season. You've had a cracking campaign so far in the BUCS Super Rugby League. What for you has been your personal highlight so far?
I think we had a couple of highlights. I think the first game we had here against Dunn was a really big game, really exciting game against tough competition. We came out on top there. It was a really special day for the club. And this side of Christmas we've played Loughborough away, and it's a really challenging place to go, which we haven't gone there for a while as an institution. So those two games have stood out for me, really exciting games and challenging opposition.
Tonight is bound to be an electric game of rugby where we face the tough side of Cardiff. What can we expect from the Anglo-Welsh clash?
Yeah, I think Cardiff has been a tough game for us the last couple of seasons. We were lucky enough to get a win away from home, but we know that they'll be a challenging side tonight. Last time they won here, and we've had a really proud record here. And we're coming off the back of a good performance, but a loss away in Durham. So the guys are really keen to bounce back after that, and I think we can expect a game that's got a lot of attacking rugby in. It's a wide pitch, so defences are going to have to be on point to make sure that the attacking sides of things don't come out the top. So yeah, we're going to be really focused on making sure we're airtight in that, but taking opportunities when we can.
And what for you personally is the most important message to deliver to the boys before they run out onto that pitch?
I think these games are really good for the guys because it's a bit of a pressure environment where there's a big crowd and they love playing in this game, quite rightly so. Everybody from the club comes out and supports them, which is brilliant. So a big message that we always like to deliver is focus on your game, on us individually, and make sure that we're getting everything right on the field, because there's a lot of distractions going on. So if we can really focus on what's important for us, our key focuses in the game, then hopefully the performance will come.
Thank you, Jude.
through the legs of Joslin, who pumps a cannon of a boot up the field, and it was just half a metre shy of being something exceptional. But as it is, it's out on the full, and Exeter putting themselves back under pressure. Peach finds Capel. The line-out drills looking supreme for the men from the Principality thus far. And Peach, who's Geordie lad, decides to give it to his scrum half, and Van der Venter gets buffeted sideways, then backwards, and then laterally a little bit more. James Roberts, try scorer. Last time he came to Sandy Park. And again, the bomb goes up cross field, and Exeter are outnumbered here. It's a squabble in the air, and Ellis Bird comes away with it. Peach, diminutive in stature, but really packs a punch. But little messy for Finn Charles, the replacement scrum half, and the first error of the match from Cardiff.
Yeah, this is exactly what Exeter need right now. A bit of confidence boost to take them ahead further down the pitch.
Frey, you're on the inside. What was the feeling like last week after the loss to Durham? Because getting a win at Hollow Drift is massive, massive for any team, and Exeter was so close, but losing at the death, painful.
I mean, it was my first time at Hollow Drift, and the atmosphere.
Lovely weather up there, isn't it?
Lovely weather. You could definitely feel the bite in the temperature, and definitely different to down here. But no, I think it was a very difficult game. The boys had control in the first half, then unfortunately the second half the discipline got the better of us, and Durham took the win. A very well-deserved win for Durham, that fixture. But the problem is, with these BUCS fixtures, 1 week in, 1 week out, the boys have to focus on the next game ahead.
No easy games in BUCS Super Rugby, so the bloke
Not
on the telly
at all.
says.
Not at all.
I know that Exeter were disappointed. Harrison James, good showing against Swansea in the victory last week and plying his trade for Cardiff RFC in the Welsh Premiership at the moment, but a turnover and Exeter, Frere Collington back in possession.
Seb Driscoll there, who made that turnover. Good pressure from Exeter, and I think the boys are ready to show up for the second half in front of an amazing amount of people here at Sandy Park.
Harrison James takes it cleanly, and just Finn Charles beckoning his forwards in there. He's going to box to the sky, but watch out for him round the fringes. He is a lightning threat. And Jake Murray, his opposite number, underneath it and calling for the mark. Well, Jake Murray hasn't been able to wear the green and white as often as he may have liked in his third and final year, but it's mainly because he's contracted for Harlequins. He was turning out in the quarters last Friday night at the Richmond Athletic Ground in, well, a sort of strange inter-club friendly battle with London Scottish. They've got a strategic partnership there, but he got some good minutes under his belt there, and he's got some good minutes under his belt here at Sandy Park this evening. Sterling, another punishing run from the replacement back row, but picked off by Ben Cohen, who was the architect of the Cian Gentry try, and it's an all-in and a melee in the Anglo-Welsh clash. Tempers flaring, but not too much coming of it. In fact, tempers flaring amongst teammates as well, as Tom Capel and Billy Moxey exchange views on how to handle the animosity out there.
Both teams have certainly returned from the half-time break, raring to go, with fire in their belly for the Anglo-Welsh Clash title this evening here at Sandy Park.
Well, Lucas Durrell doing a good bit of earwigging there, just sort of surfing the shoulder of referee Ian Kai, but he's going to get it from the horse's mouth this time as Thea Bavac was pulled over also. Bubbling over slightly, but that's one of the great things about BUCS Super Rugby, is that unrivaled passion on the field and in the stands at every match fair.
100%.
Well, the penalty reversed, much to the approval of the nigh on 5,000 here at Sandy Park. Everywhere you look, it's teeming with fervent fans in our side of the stadium. And Ben Cohen, who honed his craft at Blundell's and is a former Chiefs Academy under 18, just pumps Exeter a little further up the field.
And aside from Ben Cohen, there's been plenty of fresh faces in the Exeter squad this year that have certainly shined through and gelled with the team dynamics so well.
Well, another fresh air. Alfie Bell has really stood up well in the first half, but on this occasion, it's not his fault, but the throw from Louis Gully, a try scorer in the first half, just going slightly awry. Finn Charles, who's no stranger to delivering on the big occasion, scored the bonus point try for Cardiff in the Cardiff clash, fishes the ball out and feeds his backs. And Harrison James, just like George Finney before him, puts boot to ball and looks to drive Exeter down the field, but another couple of rolls, and that's is going to be a huge negative return on meterage for Cardiff. The great connection, really unlucky with the roll, and all the way back will come to the scrum, right on the doorstep of the Cardiff 22. I thought it was further back.
So did I.
Exeter, remember, with only 14 on the field. Benji Joseland having been banished with a yellow for a tackle off the ball. It was more of a coming together as Cardiff launched a really inventive attack through the middle of the field and a ball was fly hacked on. They've definitely sought to unlock the Exeter defence through a range of chips over the top and crossfield kicks, but right now they're called upon to defend, and first they need to stop their scrum from crumbling. Murray slings it out, ball out the back, inviting the pace, the feet of Luca Mignol to skip and hop inside. The captain, Durrell, stopped in his tracks and then poleaxed low by his opposite captain.
Another penalty here which Exeter can use to their advantage to hopefully get some more points on that already cracking scoreboard going Exeter's way.
Ben Cohen, who's really, well, he's earned the right for this 10 jersey. He's performed well in the Saturday League. Exeter fighting on multiple fronts like many of the sides in BUCS Super Rugby. It is not ordinary fare to have freshers turning out in the green and white hoops, but Ben Cohen showing himself to be calm and composed this season, and it's his kick that leads to Lucas Durrell being displaced in the air, and Louis Gully, a hat-trick last week, one under his belt already tonight. Running into two red jerseys, Ollie Sterling can't quite dislodge the ball, and the ball zipped out and carried back into a few fender benders. Jake Murray has a look with Kofi Barton-Byfield sniffing around, and Kofi Barton-Byfield, you had to correct me here, Fred, with that try in the first half, he's now level with Benji Joseland.
I think he's got one more away and then he is level.
And Benji Joseland is on the doorstep of a bit of history. He is level with Arthur Relton on 20 tries as the all-time leading BUCS Super Rugby try scorer for Exeter University. So the two wingers both hunting history. And there's no occasion quite like varsity to be writing that chapter.
The past few fixtures have certainly seen Exeter in their strength in the lineouts, and especially with their set play of the maul.
Well, Durrell gets sent up and he's safely returned to deck, and the green machine cranks through the gears with unstoppable force. And Louis Gully creates a chasm on the scoreboard with his second try of the match. EURFC in total command.
Well-deserved try there for Exeter. They put Cardiff through their paces and they have delivered once again off the maul, scored by Louis Gully.
Well, Louis is one of two Gullies out there. He is the younger of the front row pairing. If you're sensitive about age and what you've achieved in your life, look away now, because he's only 18 years old, the fresher.
And my God, Joe, he's been an incredible asset to EURFC over the past few fixtures indeed.
Well, it's not Ben Cohen's night off the tee. 1 from 5, but fortunately for him, It's pretty inconsequential at the moment because it's 5 of Exeter's tries to 1 of Cardiff's.
And Exeter have seen their first replacement of the evening, which sees hooker Louis Gully and 2-time try scorer return off the field, and Joe Wagner comes on.
So no hat-trick for Louis Gully this week as he delivered against Durham. But if Cardiff are seeking respite, Joe Wagner probably isn't the man to seek it from. 14 tries already in his debut BUCS Super Rugby season for the man, formerly of London Irish, and had a season in the Championship with the mighty Richmond. Cardiff just looking for some penetration, looking for some go forward through their captain Theo Balakwa, but a pretty clear and blatant clear out from the side isn't going to help their cause. And it's just looking a little bit stodgy out there for the Welshman. And you'd have to say that Exeter as well, don't know if they'd know the result, but they'll be buoyed by the fact that 2 of their great rivals, Durham and Loughborough, played out a 15-all draw at Hollow Drift earlier this evening. So kind of both cancelling each other out really in terms of achieving points in the chase to get Exeter in top spot. Beautiful line against the grain. Chester Ribbons rampaging into the 22. Green and white jerseys offering themselves. The try scorer, Seb Driscoll. Oh, Durrell thought he was going to receive it, but instead it was a little snipe round the fringe. Draws a high tackle. Durrell, player of the match in the greatest final of all finals at the StoneX. And Exeter moving through the gears, finding room out on the edges and going to within 4 metres. And a penalty to Cardiff.
Certainly not what Exeter intended there, but the penalty goes Cardiff's way and they have a chance to clear the ball out and they can breathe a slight sigh of relief.
Well, touch missed criminally by Cardiff, and Exeter with free rein to go exploring the extremities of the field, but Gentry knocks on. His feet moving faster than his hands, and boy can those feet move. Wonderful finish for the bonus point try. Mignot, slightly too promoted on this occasion, gets spun on his heels. And he keeps the ball in play and invites the indestructible Felix Gilbert to come counting. His 49th appearance. He has played every game of the last 3 seasons. And while the attack comes to nothing, Cardiff do retain possession.
And we've got another change here for the Exeter side as 54th cap Jared Williams comes off the field and is replaced by number 17 Chris Freeman, a third-year Exeter student and his 3rd year playing for EURFC and representing in the green and white jersey.
Well, EURFC Flair favourite Jared Williams no longer with us, and Cardiff looking to exploit his absence, though Chris Freeman offers a fair bit of ballast. Joe Viner courses through them all and wraps his tentacles around. Cardiff have done excellently to get that ball back, and then knocked on by Capel. Again, there's a bit of pushing and shoving after the ball between George Shaw and Jake Murray. And again, Ian Morgan steps in to speak to Ian Kai. James Roberts is admonished by the referee. No cards for any of the fracas. But a penalty against Cardiff, and not what they need at this stage. Not just chasing the game, but chasing a bit of field position and some time on the ball, a bit of consistency in hand.
And it's another change for the Exeter side as we see prop Tom Gully turn off the field and Archie Owler, who has 40 caps to his name, comes on.
Well, an overthrow from Viner, a fly hack through from Forsyth, and the mess mopped up by Ellis Bird, who struck a chord in his performance against Swansea last week. Mino weaves his way through a bit of red traffic. Viner explodes into those tackles. Cohen looks inside to Byfield, doesn't use him and almost slips through the net. Gentry, dummy not bought by the big men of Cardiff. He went into that challenge too high. Archie Owlett next to taste the shoulder of Ollie Sterling, is throwing his weight around, but the hole's opening up and Sterling's there again, crunching Joslin as he looked to slide through the gap. Replacements across the board busy. Viner, one of them for Exeter. Forsyth, arguably one of Exeter's standout players this season. Cohen growing into the game, moving with increased confidence. Viner swatted by Capel, but the ball's quick for Exeter. Mino can't quite matador the tackle from Plumer. Cohen over the top, Barton Byfield. Speak of a man who explodes through contact. Alfie Belt still grinding away. Milo Hallam, just his third appearance of the season. The double BUCS winner. That's the competition in the engine room right now for Exeter.
The Exeter side is certainly doing well here to ruffle some Cardiff feathers as they edge closer and closer to that glorious whitewash.
Cardiff are going to pay the price for the pressure that's being exerted by Exeter. A yellow card to Ollie Sterling, and you have to say that of all the personnel out there for Cardiff right now, that is as big a loss as can be. He has brought huge energy since coming on at half time, but he'll miss the next 10 minutes. And we'll take a pause as I think it's an Exeter player on the far side receives a bit of treatment. Well, sadly, it is Joe Viner. He's been pretty prominent in this little cameo, but looks to be the end of his evening. Sad to see Big Joe go. But if you're the Gully family tuning in, it does reopen that hat-trick door for young Louis.
And certainly so. Louis Gully brings a special sort of energy to the field, as we have seen over the last few fixtures. And all these young, fresh faces have been so important to the team with their dynamic, both on and off the pitch.
Well, a hooker replacement for Cardiff as well. Toby Peach's races run, and Oliver Williams and his sizable frame wearing 17 not 16, comes on to the hooker berth. And a proud day for the Williams family. It's Oliver's debut in BUCS Super Rugby. An evening to cherish. Well, looks like actually, just looking at who's hobbling off, that Theobavakwa, the captain, has made way, and Ollie Williams comes on. So, new faces all round, but little time to settle for Cardiff. Pinned to their line, but using every last inch of that dead ball, but still not enough.
Great charge down there from Ben Cohen, putting that pressure on Cardiff, which is what Exeter need.
Lucas Durrell winds himself up and booms into a couple of hits. Nice inside ball. Transferred to the hands of Milo Hallam. 2 tries in the cup final last season. And the impetus that he brings has Exeter on the front foot again. Close range carries. Hungry hands. Louis Gully hunting that hat-trick. Cardiff offside. His 2 tries coming at a time when the stream may have been down. I know that there were some keen observers who were frustrated by that. Namely Keith Fleming, who was kind enough to get in contact with his views on proceedings. But we're back up and running, and hopefully Keith is sat down nicely, enjoying Exeter go through the phases and look to batter down this Cardiff door. But as the rain falls, so does the ball from Exeter's grasp, and it's a scrum to Cardiff.
And we have some more replacements coming on the field, as we have Dylan Power coming on, a second-year Exeter who has certainly made his mark and has recently come back from a broken hand injury. And then we also have Lucas Brooke, who was a former teammate of Joe Viner at London Irish, has come to Exeter in the new year as a fresher, and he has certainly been keen to make his mark for the team.
Yeah, exciting to see Lucas Brooke in action. A nasty injury against Loughborough away where he was knocked out. Certainly, having seen him play for Richmond last year as well, just like Joe Viner, I'll tell you that Lucas Brooke bangs. He is a big hitter.
He certainly does.
But the scrum disintegrates that of Cardiff, and it is as easy as you like for Seb Driscoll, who picks up, dots down with limited red jerseyed resistance. Exeter have another. And the tries are pouring like the rain here at Sandy Park.
Seb Driscoll has certainly been a key member for the Exeter first team, taking on that number 8 shirt, and he is an absolute powerhouse on the field of a second try of the match.
Well, as far as Exeter are concerned, it's fortunate that there are so many tries, because it hasn't been a vintage day from the tee for them. A number of points left out there from the conversions, but Cardiff continue to pour new faces on. Jake Goldsworthy, the former Llandovery College captain, on wearing 16 in the red head guard there, just marshalling the back of a ruck that is going to see Jake Murray go high and tight to the touchline. Well, that is magnificently taken by Felix Gilby. He had such little room to work with. Rock solid at the back for Cardiff. And taking up position on the wing at the moment, Milo Hallam relishing his time back in the jersey. He's had to earn his way back. Joe Bailey has been putting in big, abrasive performances. He's away involved in the under-26 nations at the moment. Milo Hallam, not a bad bloke to have waiting in the wings. Ellis Bird runs out of grass, and Ollie Sterling returns to the field for Cardiff.
Exeter certainly took advantage of that extra player advantage on the field with those tries.
So Freya, last year obviously Cardiff came and spoiled the party, very much so for Exeter. Has that been drawn upon, do you know, amongst the group in the run-up to this match this evening?
100%. I think we've got also, within our team, we have a brilliant performance analyst, Hannah, and each week there is so much in-depth knowledge where we can, identify Cardiff's strengths, their weaknesses, and really home in on that, where the boys can focus on the next task ahead. Obviously, that unfortunate loss against Durham last week at Hollow Drift, they had to recalibrate and move on and look ahead to this fixture against the mighty Cardiff team.
Changes for Exeter. Hugo Allaby is onto the field. Will Smears in at scrum half, who is, I'm told, something of a live wire, one to watch around the fringes.
Josh Cunningham also has come into the second row for Exeter. He has also been a standout player, and he's one definitely to mention.
Well, the crossfield is definitely on there for Cardiff. Wonderfully picked out, and Gilbert's on the shoulder for the offload. Plumer dismisses the initial man looking to make contact. He was actually educated at Exeter Boys, Sam Plumer, so a return back to his school days here this evening. And the intercept from that live wire. Will Smears almost delivering on the hype.
What a brilliant try that would have been.
So Smears, yet so far. You are allowed to laugh at my jokes, Fred. You know.
The mic turned off by accident, I promise.
Final 10 minutes of the contest, and George Shaw has been supreme in the skies in Sandy Park this evening for Cardiff. It was that forward driving power that got Cardiff off to a flyer earlier in the match. We haven't seen enough of that. Smart, slick hands, open up the left side of the field, and well, it was smart from Ellaby. And if it had stuck, we could have been watching Hugo go, but not quite, and we come back for the penalty. Harrison James drives Cardiff into the corner for the first time in a very long time.
Exeter is certainly going to have to ramp up their defensive players. We haven't seen that much of it in this game, with Exeter taking most of the possession inside the Cardiff 22.
Had to be sure, go for the banker. Goldsworthy latches on and breaks free before the move collapses. Still, Cardiff in their most promising position, their most ferocious position. The replacement scrum half, Finn Charles, plunges through the melee of green and white jerseys, and Cardiff, at long, long last, have their second of the match. The game may be gone. But is there enough time for a couple more to come away with a precious try-scoring bonus?
Cardiff's work certainly paid off there, and that try was very much well deserved for the side as they powered through the Exeter line.
Well, that'll do nicely indeed. The try maximised by the boot of Harrison James. And Cardiff are going to be the side in a hurry here. If they can get another score here, there's really something to play for. But Exeter are the ones who get the break of the bounce. Seb Driscoll, what a performance. He's put in the bruising number 8. Cohen playing beyond his years, inviting Dylan Power onto the ball. Ellaby. Smears. There's that danger that he offers around the fringes, but too quick. Gets himself isolated and penalised for holding on.
Exeter certainly need to focus on their discipline here and make sure that they have everything in order to stop Cardiff from preventing into their 2022.
Short does really well reaching across the void. Back on his feet. It's an all-action display from Shaw in the second row. Just consistently outstanding for Cardiff this season. Him alongside Gwilym Evans, who sadly had to withdraw late in the day. Food poisoning this week. The former Wales 20. There are a number of players that Cardiff haven't been able to call upon. Their usual centre pairing of Tom Kilmartin and Joe Blackburn, both popping hamstrings this week. BUCS Super Rugby, truly an examination of squad depth as leagues go. And Exeter, well, they've got that depth, but they've also got the consistency as well. A lot of familiar faces in the starting 15, and those numbered 16 to 23 also. But that penalty surrendered, and that effort from Harrison James has put Cardiff in position A.
And what a position that is. Only a few metres away from the Exeter 22. The boys need to defend this to their absolute max.
Short as always, utterly secure as he's sent up, and Goldsworthy latches on. He's got the periscope up, just looking for an avenue to zip down. The ball shears off to the right momentarily before it reforms, and in come a few more red jerseys. Try number 3 beckons for Cardiff. Extraordinarily held up. Magnificent anticipatory defence from Exeter.
That is certainly a brilliant showcase of Exeter's might and determination.
Well, is that the moment gone for Cardiff? An incredible effort from Exeter to contort their bodies underneath what seemed to be a certain try coming. There's the try score at replacement scrum half. And there is a knock-on from Cardiff.
Excellent pressure there, forced that knock-on, and that is what the Exeter side just do best.
Well, it's getting to that stage of the evening with 2 minutes and a bit of change on the clock, Freya, where we discuss player of the match.
For me, I certainly think that Seb Driscoll has been a prominent figure in tonight's clash. Through the breakdowns and the turnovers, he has always been there, and especially with those 2 tries under his belt, he has impressed tonight. And who would yours be, Joe?
I never get asked this, gosh. Let me have a look down the team sheet. Well, Seb Driscoll certainly been impressed with the whole Exeter back row, but I would never, ever disagree with my co-commentator, Freya. So I think I'd be happy to hang the player of the match medal around Seb Driscoll's neck. Hey, Ben Cohen's impressed as well, given he's a fresher as well on such a big occasion, just his second start
100%.
for the first team.
No, Ben Cohen has certainly been an impressive figure over his last 2 games, and he just does keep delivering with his on-play field, certainly not with the kicks tonight necessarily, but his attacking play and even his defensive play against the Cardiff team has been noted.
Midfield scrum with the stadium clock ticking into the final 60 seconds. Carrying a dart from Smears. Exeter look to go route 1, and someone who's good at route 1 is Lucas Brook. Look at that power. Bumps 1, bumps 2, and there's room here on the left-hand side. Green and white jerseys beginning to flood in, but the ball is stripped, and Sterling knows only one way, that is forward and with aggression. Well, somehow pilfered by Exeter. Josh Cunningham gets his man off balance, and Exeter are flirting with the touchline. Brook takes 2 men to halt his progress. Cohen fizzes one across the face to Louis Gully, who's still hunting that hat-trick. Cohen out wide. The chip enveloped by Felix Gilbert. The ball will be Exeter's, and while the clock has gone through 80, there's still a bit of time on Ian Kai's wrist.
It's clear that Exeter have had control of the game in these last few minutes, and they've been calm through their phases, and they just need to make sure there is no more conceding that occurs.
Right, can we turn our attentions to the after party now, Freya? What does it look like here in Exeter after a varsity victory?
It looks like definitely Sandy Park have made some money with their bar tonight, because with the amount of people here and the buzz in the atmosphere, it looks that way. I think it's got to be a trip to the well-known timepiece, which I'm sure you'll know, Joe.
I'm familiar with the work of timepiece, but with more time left on the referee's timepiece, maybe there's opportunity for one last score for Exeter. They spot a bit of room at the back, but Felix Gilbert dependably there. Harried across the dead ball line, and a goal line dropout as the heavens have really opened now. But all the rain in Devon isn't going to dampen the mood of Exeter University, of their many supporters who've amassed here at the home of Exeter Chiefs this evening. Intricate back play, and Smears really looking to make a mark. Archie Owlett, man who started the final last year against Loughborough, doesn't really cherish the ball there, but a high tackle means Exeter will have another bite at the cherry.
It looks like tonight Exeter are going to be the ones that come away from this clash victorious, and rightly so, because they have proved their worth tonight.
Cardiff not giving up, not surrendering, still finding that energy, but being disrupted with a timely counter-ruck. Harrison James runs himself down a green and white alley. It is hard yakka out there for the forwards. Lovely dummy, selling the whole of the Exeter backline, and then the inside ball to Moxie. Beautiful line off the shoulder. Cardiff beginning to play, knocked back by an Exeter hand, so Joseland is called on to slide on that. The dying embers of an entertaining one here. A Valentine's varsity special.